Welcome to the Good Talk, where we're talking about everything 10th edition, including the games we've just been playing.
Ooh.
We just finished a game where we were playing the Tau against the Votann because it is the Xenos release day, and these indexes just dropped. This was our first game with each, and certainly I think we learned a lot, have a lot of opinions, and would love to hear what you think. Now, about the Votann.
This is the most scattershot release. So like Space Marines were pretty tightly grouped.
Yeah, right.
Chaos was largely pretty tightly grouped.
Okay.
Rest of Imperium, we started to get
Things
some
that,
separation.
What you're trying to say is like in the balance.
Right. We started to get some separation with Imperium, but then we got to Xenos, and it's like you see the full separation of
So
like,
some of the strongest factions, some of the weakest
whoa, yeah. So my initial read on Votann is one of transitioning from 9th to 10th. It's an army that didn't even exist before 9th, so that's really the only context we have. They lost to BS. They lost a very key rule of Void Armor. It's now just a strat. And so they're largely just 4-up save dudes that move 5 inches.
If you saw our game,
don't hit
spoiler
well.
alert, Bridger made every single armor save.
I did roll very hot.
It turns out it doesn't matter what your armor save is
super
if you
hot.
just roll them all.
But they largely just feel like they want to be Space Marines.
Okay.
Like,
they just like are looking at their poster of Space Marines,
they really want to be
trying to
Space
stand on their tippy toes and be as tall as they can.
They actually built exosuits just to get to human size.
But hold on. So going into this game, Bridger was like, I don't think this faction is very good. They seem a little slow. They're not hitting too well. And then we play this game, and he tables me and gets almost a perfect score.
I did table you.
So has your opinion changed at all? Do you think the faction is better than you thought?
I was going into it very bullish on Hearthguard. I think Hearthguard, it's Codex Hearthguard at this point.
This is the Terminator kind of
and
type
they were nuts. The Hearthguard,
a lot of shots.
Dominant.
They kill vehicles in combat.
They
Not many
can.
people do
Strike
that.
9 with 2 attacks. Like they're
Strang. Oh, the Carl had the rest, but yeah.
The E-Champ.
The E-Champ, which is a good thing to put with them.
Yes. So he can actually only go with them.
Yeah, right.
And you don't want him alone because he just...
Yeah. So let's assume with an E-Champ, they kill vehicles.
Yeah, so I like them with an E-Champ. I like them in general, but they have this problem. This is a pretty common 10th edition problem across books of like, they didn't really put too much thought into transport size.
Right, so they don't fit in the transports.
What can go in transports when.
Yeah.
So you can take a little 5-man with an E-Champ, and that goes in transport.
But that's not too
But
exciting.
the Hecaton doesn't have assault ramps, so you can't get out and charge. So it's not crazy.
Yeah, so you're better to deep strike them.
You're better to deep strike them.
Rapid ingress them or something.
Yes, I like them with rapid ingress. I like them deep striking. You do give up a 4-up invuln on the Thane, the sergeant of the squad. But I like them. They're very good, and I think Hecatons are still one of the core central units of the book.
Well, we saw the Land Fortress was very durable, right? If this was 1 edition prior, that thing would have died turn 1, and now it was invincible.
Well...
Yeah, to a Riptide and a Skyray, and then there was 6 other secret missiles that went at you.
So
I'm pretty sure 9th edition you would have been...
In 9th, they had a bunch of nonsense rules that was like 2-up armor, T8, void armor, so you reduce AP by 1.
Yep.
And you're going to 0 out a damage, and...
No doubt.
Like, they had a bunch
always
of nonsense.
tough. They were always tough.
Most of the nonsense is gone, and now they're like a Land Raider, but they don't have the smoke keyword, which is shockingly relevant. And they don't have assault ramp, and instead of 4 las cannons, they have 1 big gun. And I like, thematically, I enjoy the big gun.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, a lot of people...
Well, and it wrecked in this game.
Yes, but across Votann, I think people are going to learn all the guns you built in 9th are not the guns necessarily that you want in 10th.
So there's better weapons now than there was.
There are a lot of other weapons on everything.
So it sounds like you're still, overall, you're not sold that the army is great. Despite their good showing today, you think that was kind of a fluke?
I think I made great saves, and I think you had not experienced the Hecaton before.
Sure.
And so you
committed
a lot to it.
I've now experienced the Hecaton.
You've experienced the Hecaton.
Yeah,
you committed a lot to it when you could have ignored them and just gone for my infantry the whole game.
Okay.
And the infantry, like I had 1 round of very good saves, but outside of that,
yeah, sure.
they're just 4-up armor.
Yeah.
You can really chew through them pretty easily.
You let the Hecaton wreck you.
Yeah.
But
you just tag it. It can't fall back and shoot.
Yeah, sure.
It's terrible in combat. And a bunch of its guns are blast. So like, you just touch it and then it's turned off.
Okay.
So it has
that's a tactic.
Pretty glaring flaws.
Sure.
But Votann players are experienced with it. They know how to.
Yeah, it's a mid-board.
They know how to handle this.
Mid-board shooting. Well, for me on the Tau, I think the Tau book is actually quite excellent. Despite the game that we had here, I think almost every data sheet has some interesting play. And it's a really good army at playing the mission. You got great infiltrators, you got great scouts, you've got units that can go up and down, you've got good speed, and you've got some cheap, I can't tell you the points cost, but some affordable small squads, right? That you can play with. And so I really think that the Tau plays the mission well, and we saw that. Even when I was kind of getting trounced in the shooting phases, I was playing all my secondaries, I was maxing every turn. I didn't really have trouble picking up any unit or secondaries.
No.
And I was even doing fine on the primary.
Until you ran out of models.
Until literally I was tabled, and then, it falls apart. Yeah. Your units do die quickly, so that's a thing. But I was happy with that, and I will say I deliberately brought some units that I knew were not great. Like I don't think the Riptide is very good, but I wanted to see it. He's been an important model in most people's collection for a long time, so I wanted to see it. I didn't think the broadsides were very good, and they turned out to be awful, just horrendous, especially with missiles.
But I mean, with rails,
no, they're still slow. But it's hard to get line of sight with them. And I think you can get the rails better on the hammerheads. That's true. But they're probably not terrible with rail. But I think the missiles just don't do the business. And the way you used to split fire, where it's like big missiles here, indirect somewhere else, that whole tactic doesn't work anymore.
Non-viable.
It's non-viable. That's right, because you just hit worse when you do that. So I don't think they're the way to go.
No.
And the Crisis Squad I had. I think the Crisis Squad, if I put the Cold Star in it, is solid. But here's a few things that concern me. One, they're all vehicles. So, Bring It Down is pretty vicious. The anti-vehicle is pretty vicious. The Jump, Shoot, Jump, the Strike and Fade strat, it's 2 CP. And as you could see, that's all your CP for the whole game if you do that. Right? And so if you're saying I'm committing all my CP to Strike and Fade, is it worth it to have no more command points for any other strats? I don't know. Probably not. So that's tricky. The squad was reasonably durable, but you can't let them get their good guns into it. And I do think it's pretty good, but I think you need to kit it out to kill one target at a time. And I need to decide whether a 6-man with a commander is more shots than I need to kill single targets.
After that game, I was very scared of them the whole game because I've seen that many crisis suits in the past. And they just kill everything they look at.
Yeah, you're right.
And they kill everything that they look at in like the horizon. The horizon all dies. I think a 2 3-mans is going to go a lot farther for you. I think you want one with fusions.
With a commander, though?
I think you want one with a Cold Star and fusions. So you sprint out, definitely kill thing.
I don't think you ever not want the Cold Star. The Cold Star gives the unit +2 move and advance and shoot.
Yeah.
So maneuverability is crucial in the Tau. The Enforcer commander I had was interesting. The -1 AP came into play all the time. But, it would have been better to just move around a lot better.
Yeah, I liked the plasma gun. So I think 3 with the Cold Star fusions, 3 with plasma, maybe Enforcer.
Fusions are 12-inch range, my friend.
Yeah, well, you're advancing 18 inches.
I don't know about fusions. I'm thinking plasma for me, but... because plasma and fusion are about the same, but plasma work better against the targets I'm going after, which is going to be like Terminators. I'm going to use them as like Terminator killers.
Terminators have 3 wins, my dude.
And plasma does 3 damage.
Oh, it does 3 damage.
Yeah, it's -3 AP for 3 damage, and it's strength 8. So that would be 3 shots per model. With a squad of 6, it's 18 shots, plus another 3 for the commander. The army falls back and shoots. That's what I'm going to play. Listen, I'm going to be playing the Tau again at the tournament. I'm going to be taking Ghostkeels. They're going to be the thing that's killing tanks for me with their strength 12 fusion and their ability to not be able to be shot back easily. And then I'm going to be taking Farsight Marksman to be able to screen my backfield cheaply and also...
Target.
They're going to be cheap targets. I'm going to be taking full 3-man squads of stealth teams. They infiltrate up the board. They homing beacon for me for free, so I can use rapid ingress for 0. And then also they allow me to reroll 1s to wound when I spot with them. So they do everything.
All good.
So I'll be leaning into them. I haven't decided if I'm using the Vespid. I don't have the Vespid in my collection, but we have Vespid here in the studio. I think there's Zach's Vespid, right? Zach has Vespid. So they're an amazing unit. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to split 2 collections into one army.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, like we've been saying all week, the units that have uppy downy or deep strike, like these small, theoretically cheap units that just play the secondaries for you are crucial for every army. That's why I like some bikes in Votann.
Yeah.
That's why I like Inceptors and Space Marines. I think that Vespid would be good for Tau.
I'm also going to have Shadow Sun. That gives me an aura of reroll 1s. And that can make my big crisis squad or whatever else I've got just that little bit more efficient. And when you only got guns, you need them to work, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into the questions, see what we got.
Yeah, let's do it. So the first one is going to be the list that we skipped earlier. So the Flushes Week. We are here. Let me take this one. This is from the Flushes Week, and they ask, I know it's hard to give feedback without points, but if I have 10 heavy intercessors with Iron Father Pharaohs,
It's a good unit.
2 by 3 Inceptors, 2 Redemptors with Gatlings, and a Repulsor Executioner, what overarching types of things do I need to round out a list?
Okay. So you still don't have any tank killing yet, right?
Executioner.
The Repulsor Executioner, that's not quite enough. So I think you want the Gladiator...
Vanquish?
the one that's the tank killing.
The Laz Talon one?
Yeah. You want...
say Vanquish.
I think you want to add one of those to it. The Redemptor's plasma, or sorry, you have them with Gatling. So, you actually can chip some mortal wounds from something, but it's not reliable.
It's not reliable.
So what you really want is just at least one more tank killing thing. I think the Terminators are almost always worthwhile as well, because you have a unit that actually can stand on objectives.
It's an anvil. But his anvil is the heavy intercessors.
Yeah, but that's fine. They're slower. They don't deep strike. That's a different kind of anvil in my mind. It's like a mid to backfield shooty anvil. It's kind of a very different thing.
Yeah.
It is tough, though, but it doesn't fight,
No.
We're also test playing a lot the Blade Guard with Judiciary combo. We're not sure yet if it's good. We know it tanks, but we don't know if it kills.
I'm not big on it.
We don't know if it kills yet.
I think that's what makes it not a great anvil, is that we played it against Death Shroud. And
Which are hard
I
target.
respected it, but I shouldn't have. I should have just gone straight into it because they
weren't as
win
killy.
that fight trivially. Like the Death Shroud.
No, you didn't. I survived it.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Right, you can hang out, but you're OC1, I'm OC1.
You have the lead, yeah.
And I'll go up on models immediately.
I also like 3...
That's a bad book. So
I also like 3 Inceptor squads. Space Marines are
Yes.
still kind of slow,
Yeah.
and that 3rd Inceptor squad is pretty big. We have been recommending pretty much everyone take a unit of Infiltrators as well.
At least one, probably 2.
1 to 2. That's it.
So just, all the other things. Just classic Space Marines, you want 4,000 points.
I mean, everything we named probably fit. Yeah.
Thanks, Flushes Week.
Thank you. This next one is from Shay Connolly. Thank you, Shay. So I've never played a game of 40k, so 10th will be my first edition.
Welcome.
It seems like the reception has been bad for Death Guard, but
True.
I just like them the most. They are cool to me. Is it okay to get into them?
Yes.
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 Of course. Listen, we're saying that the rules are not the strongest, but that's not what matters in Warhammer. You're going to be hobbying and painting, and that's what you're going to be spending more of your time doing. You're going to spend way more time hobbying than you almost ever do playing.
Yep.
So if you're passionate about this army, that's the way to go. And also, if you're playing with your friends, which that's the way we like to play.
You can just do what we just did.
You deliberately make your armies balanced, right? And the Tau we think is probably a stronger book than Votann, and you deliberately play different stuff to try and make it more of a game. And that's how we internally balance games, and it works great. And just because something's not working for now doesn't mean it'll always be that way. By the time you get your army painted,
they might have a book.
Who knows? A codex could be on the way.
Yeah.
Could change everything. And often when something's underpowered, they give it extra attention.
They go wild.
They give it extra attention the next time around. So, Death Guard have been great. They'll be great again. Yeah. And it's a great faction.
Thanks, Shay.
Thank you. This next one is from Carl DePauer. Thank you, Carl. Absolutely killing it this week. Any idea how it works when a character's T is greater than the units and the attacks are going to get through? Slow roll?
I do know how this works.
Yeah, we do.
It doesn't matter. The character's toughness doesn't actually matter at all. until you start an activation where the whole bodyguard unit is dead. The core rules tell you when attacking a unit that has a bodyguard, you use the bodyguard's toughness. If it has multiple toughnesses, you use the majority toughness within the bodyguard. You ignore the characters. And because all the attacks of one activation are all at once, the character's toughness is irrelevant until the next activation where he's alone.
So you do not slow roll.
No.
You roll them all.
Yeah. Which is a penalty for a lot of characters. There are a lot of characters that are high toughness, and they get inserted into squads with lower toughness.
Sure.
They're theoretically being penalized for that.
Not the end of the world.
You live with it.
Yep.
Even precision
Correct.
uses the bodyguard toughness.
You're actually wounding the bodyguard in a way, and then the wound's being passed on.
Right.
Yeah, just to keep it simple.
Yep.
Thank you. This next one is from Taylor B. Thank
Taylor.
you, Taylor. Thinking of adding some successor chapters to my Iron Fists. Thought on how to get a fist on the new captain to make Pedro Cantor. Thanks, a grudgeon.
Does the Gravis captain not have a fist? Or is the new captain somebody else?
Okay, so hold on. He's trying to make an Imperial Fist army.
Uh-huh.
And Pedro Cantor is not for the Imperial Fist, I thought. He was for the, what's the guy with the red fists?
Crimson Fists?
Is that what they're called?
Yep.
Yeah?
But they're gone.
Yeah. So
he's
anyways.
just trying to make a Pedro Cantor type model.
So then you would use the the Imperial Fist's character that has the giant power fist in the Gravis armor.
Torgaradon?
Torgaradon.
Doesn't have a fist, does he?
Yeah.
I thought he's a hammer.
No. Doesn't he? Torgaradon, doesn't he have a big fist?
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Hey, Adrian.
Yep.
Torgaradon, does he have a fist?
Yeah, but he's in Gravis armor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, make him Pedro.
Yeah, but
Adrian's saying you can't make
you
Torgaradon
can't make
Pedro.
him into Pedro because he's in Gravis armor. But you know, conversions. I did my Vulcan Histan in Gravis conversion just because it looked cuter. But nowadays it matters.
Right.
It didn't used to matter, but now it does. So then you could just make your own from a captain and then just get a power fist.
So no non-Gravis captain has a power fist that I know of. Maybe a firstborn captain could take a...
No, Primaris, they have it.
They
There's a
have it,
Primaris
yeah.
captain with a power fist?
Primaris captain, yeah, there is.
There's too many.
Yeah, there is too many kits. But normally we don't have to buy these kits because they all come in starter sets and things. And they're all like...
Oh, these are all dumb blister packs. All
that's
the
what I'm saying, now
lieutenants
they are.
and the captains,
now they are.
they're all just random blister packs.
Yeah.
It's like, did you...
I don't know which
you
kit,
open the
but
right
I bet
captain?
if you browse the GW website, there's a kit just for you here. But honestly, there's probably a mixture of like this bit from this thing, this bit from that thing. That makes
Oh,
it
the
all together.
guy... There's one with his sword up and his fist, with the Volter fist.
Okay.
That guy's not Gravis.
Okay.
That's the Primaris captain.
So he has a sword and a fist.
He's been in a bunch of starter sets.
Well, look
He's
for
everywhere.
him. Look
That's
for him.
like the Primaris captain.
Look for him.
That's the
Imperial
one.
Fists all of a sudden more exciting to play.
Yeah.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you. This next one is from GP. Thank you, GP. I appreciate the extreme pain we're seeing on our Votann player's face whenever he has to do anything. We feel the same across the internet,
I'm not
friends.
crazy, Brian. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Going from 9th to 10th is a hard transition for Votann. I think they can still play the game. They still have tools. They still have some very strong units. It's just not the stuff
Not
they
as super
own.
exciting, but
It's not the stuff they own. That's the problem.
you know what I'm crossing my fingers for? It's currently pretty much the smallest mainline faction in the game. You know, whenever they release a new army, they usually do that. Very few data sheets. And then, you know, the next edition around, they fill them out. My guess is that you're going to see another like 3 to 4-ish squads for this thing around the time their codex is released. And that's something really big to look forward to because they've shown some creativity here. This is new, and I'm sure they can continue to bring out some really cool stuff. So
I'm genuinely impressed at GW's ability to make whatever you have not good. And whatever, somehow, like there's not that many data sheets.
right.
They managed to make all the things you
inverted it?
have not good and all the things you don't have good.
Well, maybe
It's
it'll
so
flip back
few
in the
sheets.
codex.
I don't know how they managed it.
I really want them to get like a cool Walker model in another range in their next release.
The rail rifle that went in every 10-man squad,
Yeah.
18-inch range now.
Yeah.
How it's
On the plus
five.
side, you have a 5-inch move. You'll get
It's
there in
on-
no time.
It's on 5s, Brian.
Yeah, that's not good.
What?
That's a grudgeon. All right, Games Workshop, you get a grudge token.
Every single Votann player has rail rifles in their squads.
Well, they'll be hitting on 5s.
If they're in range, which they won't be, because 18 inch.
Well, then really, the ballistic skill doesn't even matter. So why are you even complaining about it? Because you know, the ballistic skill only matters if you're in range to shoot.
I just don't understand.
Listen, you got to see a great showing by them today.
Yep.
They were holding grudges.
They're not terrible. Hearthguard are
They're not
amazing.
terrible. They're not
Their bikes
Death Guard.
are good.
They're not Death Guard. They're not Death Guard. They're not Death
Their
Guard.
bikes are good. Hearthguard are good. Hecaton's is good. Hearthguard are actually amazing.
Yeah, and Hearthguard are
You're
generally
going to want at least 30 Hearthguard.
I don't know about that. But probably 20.
At least.
But probably 20.
30 is a starting point, and I know you can only take 30. It's a starting point.
Yeah. But paint up more just in case. Paint up 40 just in case.
What if they go to units of 20, Brian?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
GP.
Yeah. This next one is from Nathan Wallace. Thank you, Nathan. So I think there is a Night Lords 30k/40k army in my future.
Good plan.
Are Eldar truly as busted as people are saying? Also, give Custodes Forge World cards already, GW.
Lots of good opinions in here. So Night Lords 30k, 40k. We have a Night Lords 30k
And 40k.
and a Night Lords 40k.
Yeah.
And I would agree with your decision there. Night Lords, kind of cool. Pretty sad though.
Hard to paint.
They're hard to do well. The lightning bolts, I would either say you practice them, and unless you can make them look great, don't even do it. Because they look cheesy when you do them bad.
If they're blotchy or thick.
blotchy, white, like,
It's bad.
unless you're real good at
gotta
it,
be crisp.
do not even try it. It'll ruin your model, and there's no take backsies. But I will say, cool army. I'm disappointed that there's no like named characters for them
Yeah.
that really fleshes them
A
out.
lot of the chaos factories don't have that.
Fix that problem, G-Dub.
Yeah.
Also, our Eldar are truly busted, yes. And they're working on it. I think they'll work on it some more. Come check out the tournament. They're going to be playing tomorrow, and we're going to see how they hang. John's been going to be playing them. He's got a couple practice games in, and the 1 or 2 practice games we played were pre the nerf that's already happened, but we still know they're quite good. Whether they're brought within striking distance of some of the other factions, I'm not sure yet. My instinct is that other people can still play, but that they
Yeah.
have a real edge.
It's like 65-35, I think.
Oh, it's that.
Post Shadow nerf, I think it's like the best factions have a fighting chance, but the odds are against you from the
They're
start.
very good. So expect more changes to come to this faction. Don't get too excited, Eldar. They're gonna bring you down a little bit.
And
then
we are excited for the Custodes Forge World.
it's like 3/4 of their models.
It's a lot of it's half.
and
It's
we
roughly
have
half.
we have a big collection of Forge World.
We do.
It's a big part, so we're waiting for it.
I can't wait to play the beached whale.
Which one's that?
It's the
Because a
transport.
lot of the models look like Beach
No, but
Whale.
it's the transport.
Okay.
It's like
the Coronis Grab Carrier.
Cronus Grab Carrier is just it's huge.
And we have 2 of them.
It's blubbery, and it just kind of lays there. It's a beached whale.
Will you play a game? Will you play a game where you have 2 of them?
Maybe.
Good, because I have 2, and you got to do it.
Maybe.
You heard it here.
Thank you, Nathan. This next one is from Loki616. Loki says, Happy Tau Day, everyone. What do folks think about Vespid stingwings as fast-scoring units and spotters, especially now dogs have OC0? Thinking of converting gargoyles so I don't have to deal with resin.
Don't buy those. Don't buy those models if you can get away with it. There are third-party things that are cool. I'm yet to find one that I really, really, really love, but I think I'll support Piper. Piper makes some cool models that you could use, and check those out.
I didn't think they could be spotters. Do they have it for the greater
Yeah,
good?
so in order to be a spotter, I think you need to have the for the greater good keyword, and none of the auxiliaries have that. So I don't believe the Kroot or the Vespid can do for the greater good, but that's okay because they're great at coming down doing actions, and if they're doing an action, they can't be spotting anyways. And the fact that they come down, do an action, then go back up later means that you kind of always have a unit in your back pocket. I think it's not crazy to say that you'll take three of these units or 2 of these units in most Tau armies. I think most people are in the same boat that they just don't want these models. I don't own them because I've always hated them, and I've never found like an
They're
alternative.
very
It's time
flat.
for
They're very
them
flat.
to redo them because they could be really cool.
They could be cool.
Yeah, like
They could be
weird-
very dynamic and like flying down and.
Yeah, cool wings and
But
stuff.
as it stands, they're flat.
Yeah. And like they've got the leader that has the mind control helmet, and he mind controls the rest of the squad, and they could really like make that look like it's more of a thing.
Well, no, he is mind controlled through the helmet, and he tells everybody else what to
Yeah. It's a mind control helmet.
do. He is mind controlled.
Yeah.
He gives them their orders, and they just listen because he's one of them.
Yeah.
That's
Swarm leader.
So cool.
So yeah, definitely get them. They're very, very good. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna play them on.
I think you should.
I probably should, but I haven't
You should.
decided yet.
They're good. Thanks, Loki.
Yes, thank you. This next question is from Sweet Madeline. Thank you, Sweet.
That's cool.
Hi, Titans. Been long tempted to start Tau. What are some good starting units for 10th Ed? Go Sweater.
Is this the sweater, Brian?
The superpowered sweater? No, I'm saving that for the tournament.
Okay.
Get out of here. This is a medium power sweater at best. The sweater I'm breaking out.
Didn't help you much today, Brian.
The sweater. No.
This might be a low power sweater.
This is a low powered sweater. I could go into all the reasons why, but this is not. That's not why we're here. Okay, you want to start some Tau, right? Well, I think let me give you some safe picks.
Okay.
Get a couple squads of breachers
Okay.
because you need some troops, and I think the breachers have been good and are good. Get yourself a Cold Star commander. They're fun and cool. Get yourself a squad of Crisis because it's iconic to the army. I just basically described the Start Collecting box, so you could do that.
Get one of those.
Has an ethereal, which is fun. Then you want to get yourself,
Vehicles?
yeah, so a hammerhead's fun.
But like your breachers would love to be in a devilfish, right?
Yeah, so, and if you're clever, you can magnetize a devilfish to be a breacher. That can
To be a hammerhead.
Sorry, I said a breacher. That would be so cool, how you magnetize it into a breacher, but no. So a devilfish and a hammerhead, if you're clever, you can make that out of one.
Strip off the whole chassis
Yeah.
and there's a breacher on the
But you
inside.
have to buy the hammerhead kit
Yeah.
because the devilfish kit doesn't come with that.
But you don't need to buy a devilfish kit. The hammerhead kit has a little.
A little plug.
I think you might have to 3D print the plug, but instead of putting the turret on, you just put a plug on.
I think you can make it work. Anyway. So yeah, some devilfish are good. Piranhas are good. I don't think you need a ton of them, but they're good. The stealth teams are kind of a must-have. Exceptional. So, get like maybe 9 of those, 9 models. Those are good starts. After that, it starts to become a lot of your pick, but right now, ghostkeels are great. Right now, as I said, Vespid are good. And Firesight Marksmen are good. Those are resin as well, unfortunately. So you can make your own.
There's metal Firesight Marksmen.
Oh, they're metal.
I have 3 metal Firesight Marksmen.
Ooh. Yeah, so those, you can kit bash your own if you're being creative.
They're heavy. They're
They're
top
heavy,
heavy. Because the spindly little stick and then a giant dome on the top, and he wants to break his
You're right.
stupid lead model.
Yeah, it's no good.
Don't put them in your mouth.
So yeah, that's the stuff. What's not great right now is the broadsides are not my favorite. The Riptide's not really shining right now. The Flyers have never been amazing.
In general,
The
flyers are bad now.
Crisis Commanders are not really interesting. So, Cold Star Commanders are good. Enforcer's not bad, but I think the Cold Star is just cooler.
Yeah.
The Fireblade, I played 2 of them today.
He's cute.
He's not that good,
He's
man.
cute. I like him.
Yeah, he's a tax on a unit that's going to die.
But he's a cutie patootie, Brian.
He's a cutie. Yeah. So that's it. That's my take.
Thank you for that insight. This next one is from Stuart Graham. Thank you, Stuart. Hi, Titans, longtime watcher. How competitive do you think Tyranids will be in 10th? I've recently picked them up after playing Tau for a long time.
Very nice.
Oh.
We think they're mid-tier.
That's a tough question.
Right?
There's so many different builds. I think there will be skew Tyranid lists that will be gatekeepers. I think big stompy Tyranids will act in a way like knights.
You're talking about like a Monster Mash
If
list.
you go Monster Mash, I think that's a gatekeeper list that won't win events.
So what's the main monsters here? So
The
you have-
Tyrannifex.
Tyrannifex is great.
I think Carnifexes behind them could be okay.
Oh yeah, I don't think the Carnifexes are
But
good.
Exocrines behind them for sure.
Exocrines are very good.
Like Exocrine Tyrannifex is
So this is a shooty
and
monster.
then like Mawlock or what's the other one? The Ground Bursters.
Yeah. I thought those were bad.
No, they're decent. They're okay. So like it's Yeah, I think that's the basis
I thought
of a
the
SKU
list. I thought the list that people were putting together was a lot of movement shenanigans. So like spores.
You can do
and,
that. That's another
the,
strategy.
The barb gaunts, trying to like screw with your movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I have like the lictors and stuff, and I'm up board. And I'm just kind of like, I'm holding you off for the first half of the game. And so now I'm just ahead and you're behind.
So that list enables a good player to leverage their skill a lot more.
It's a high skill ceiling.
Yes, but I think the floor on that list is actually quite low. That if you play it poorly,
You'll do badly.
you'll do very badly. I think that list is overall better, but sufficiently hard to play that I wouldn't recommend a random person getting into Tyranids to try it.
Unless you're willing to practice.
You would have to practice a lot, yeah. But that I think is the leading theory of like, and there's a few like zoanthropes are just generically good. Like there's a few generically good units that you'll see in all the builds, but there are many ways to play Tyranids. I think they range in power level and matchups.
I'd call them upper middle tier.
It's a very diverse book.
Upper middle tier, and they could probably even strike higher depending on the build.
Thank you. This next one is from Chris K. Thank you, Chris. Hey, Titans, long-time watcher, first-time chat, as I'm UK-based. Started in a Leagues of Votann army last month. How sad should I be about the index? Put them on hold?
They're not terrible.
No, they're playing.
not terrible.
They're playing 10th edition out here.
They play Warhammer. They do that. They're not. It's just like, how much of the army have you already bought?
Also, don't start or stop an army based upon power level, right? Because arguably
Certainly.
the game is tweaking around you all the time, right? Like, they've already tweaked several things before this stuff's even out.
Yep.
They've committed to tweaking faster and faster, right? If you liked the aesthetic and the general concept of the playstyle of the army, that has not changed. They're still mid-board, like mid-durability, mid-board, mid-combat, right?
Mid-shooting.
But like, no, they're like above average shooting at the mid-board. No, you're wrong. No, they're above average. He's making that face, but if you look at shooting across the board, everyone's shooting got depressed meaningfully. So are they stronger than a guard army in shooting? No, but that's all the guard do. So, you know what I mean? Like this army, it doesn't have the durability that guard has, and it also doesn't have, it has some combat where guard has none. So, like, I think the army is, unfortunately at the moment, lower middle tier.
Its biggest problem is that the units that are good, nobody owns.
Yeah.
Nobody has 30 Hearthguards. So why I ask how much you have is like the less you bought, the better, because now you can buy the stuff that you wouldn't have bought a month ago.
Yeah, and that's if you're meta chasing though, right? Because keep in mind, by the time you build that stuff, they changed again. This is Warhammer. So unless you're prepared to meta chase and always have, or build a massive collection of Votann, you're probably not going to have the most optimal list. But if you liked the playstyle before, it's the same kind of playstyle. It's going to be slightly underpowered compared to what you hoped they were. But you're not trying to get your army's power up to Eldar's. You're trying to get Eldar's down to
Their
yours.
old playstyle is very different from how they play now. They used to be a long range, shoot better than you, play angles, shoot better than you.
Yeah.
And the other people who shoot, well, we have durability tricks.
Sure.
When they released, they were like that. When they released, they were everything.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
They got pulled back, and they were long-range shooting with hekachonks and
the whole army
put
was
like
long
some
range
rail
shooting,
rifles.
in your opinion?
Yeah, hekatons were
And the
like
troops? What were
72-inch range.
No,
the
not
rail
big
rifles were like 72-inch range.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long-range. It was like Tau, but not mobile. More durable than Tau, less mobile than
Tau's
Tau.
a mid-range shooting.
Um,
Tau's always been like 18 to 24, right?
Tau's had a lot of 36.
Tau is
And these
historically a
guys-
mid-board shooting.
These guys had a lot of 36 up to 72.
Yeah.
Now they are down to 18 to 24. Their ranges have dramatically changed.
Yeah.
They used to leverage range against certain factions, and now they can't. Now everybody outranges Votann.
Okay, so they're a mid-board shooting now, but that's okay. That's mid-board shooting is again what Tau has always been as well. Like mid-board shooting's fine. There's nothing wrong with mid-board shooting.
It's a fine strategy.
Yeah, it's fine. Often
Especially
you're not
when you
getting a
have
line of sight.
combat behind it.
A lot of times you're not getting a line of sight on anything down board anyways. That's not how the game works.
Depends, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. This next one is from Joe Heineke, and Joe Heineke just says, "Y'all made an extra $5 just for pronouncing my last name correctly."
We did it?
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's
Joe.
Heineke. Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Is that another 5? Is it recursive?
No,
Do we
that's
just keep-
5.
That-
Oh,
this
every
is the
time we say it
extra.
correctly?
Yeah.
Hanky.
Oh. Joe, you might need to change your name.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Joe. This next one is from Carl Boyd. Thank you, Carl. Why did they give 90% of the battlesuit's vehicle keyword? It doesn't feel good to me. Have a great game.
I don't think that was necessary.
I see both sides of it. I see as a Tau player feeling bad about it.
I think the big ones should have had it, like Riptides,
Sure.
maybe even Broadsides.
Well, they were already vehicles in 9th.
The
big ones.
Were they?
Yeah.
After the Codex drop, right?
I think
But that's fine. They should stay that.
I can see the Tau side of feeling bad, but I can also see the general game design of they're trying to reel it in to like not that many types.
That's the thing. And the battlesuit keyword was a keyword that meant nothing, and it was only Tau. And it wasn't infantry, and it wasn't vehicles. So it was like, which was it? And it's not a mounted or whatever.
It became a keyword that was immunity to anti, which is why they got rid of it.
Yeah, so that's you make a good point, because it's like, what is it anti now? It's nothing, it's its own thing. And if you can't call it infantry, because that would have been an OP
It would be ridiculous.
thing to give it, and it's not even logical. So the interaction, though, of an army that is supposed to be, like if you wanted to play a battlesuit army and have, let's say, 12 to 18 battlesuits, now all of a sudden, that's not really viable from a secondaries context.
I think you just take it on the chin. You just have to. You don't have a choice. If that's what you're trying to do, okay.
18 battlesuits, and you get 2 points apiece when you kill them? Right?
For the small ones.
For the small ones, yeah.
I mean, it's not a good place to be. I understand the pain of Tau. That sucks. But I think they probably could have been careful with the walker keyword. But all the walkers in the game also have vehicle. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's tough. It's hard.
tough. Yeah, this is one of those things and Bridger's talked about this, where they kind of like had an equation. They like snapped things to the closest rule that they had. And sometimes that snapping created an unfortunate alignment. And this is one of those. I don't know that this is a good idea. It might be worth continuing in the future to have Tau not be infantry or vehicle, because it's not required. That's its own kind of power. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how much it matters. Let's see how much it matters. In this game, it already hurt me, right? You were able to pick up some secondary points.
Sure.
And you were able to use your anti-vehicle.
yeah.
So seems like it could, that we'll see if that adds up. I think it will, though.
Probably.
I think it will, yeah.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Carl. This next one is from Kiki Breaky. Thank you, Kiki. Brian, it's so nice to have you back this week. Bridger, I love you.
Oh.
Even when you're emo.
Oh.
Especially when you're emo. Where is Zach? I miss Zach.
Zach plays Age of Sigmar.
He does.
He's not too excited about 40k, but he loves
He does
Sigmar.
love him some Sigmar.
So he plays on Mondays, just not this week because there was too much 10th edition. And at the time we play Sigmar, we were playing
10th.
We were playing 10th.
Yeah.
So will he be at Fault Line tonight?
I don't know. I haven't asked.
Yeah.
I could ask.
We might see him tonight at our gaming club, but yeah, he plays Sigmar mostly.
And he's been hyped about Sigmar.
Oh,
New season
yeah.
coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks, Kiki.
Yeah, thank you, Kiki. This one is from Blake Alman. Thank you, Blake. I found MCP Moon Knight / Blade box for $12, and I think I play now. What else should I get? Glad I'm starting this when nothing else is going on.
So this is Marvel Crisis Protocol, Bridger's new favorite game.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Shatterpoint might overtake it.
Ooh.
So I think step one, you need a core box. It gets you all the dice. It gets you the measurement tools. It's quite cheap, and it gets you 10 models. That's a basic starting point. You need a core box. You have Moon Knight and Blade. Well, that is the beginnings of Midnight Suns. He's the leader.
Right.
Blade's the leader of the Midnight Suns. And Moon Knight is a member of Webbed Warriors, which you will also have a Spider-Man from the core box. So those are the
Almost
two.
have two different.
Those are the two directions I would
squads.
go in. Yeah. But that being said, the game does not require you to play affiliations, and I would recommend when learning to play without them, to just learn the basic rules of like, okay, here's my 10 models. I'll pick 5. We'll play a game. Or pick some. You don't have to play 5. You pick some number based on the points. that's like a good way to get into the game. From there, yeah, you start getting addicted to different affiliations.
Yeah,
Once
don't take it as far as Bridger took it.
Once you finish one affiliation, you're like, oh man, I have half of that affiliation.
We just got 4 new MCP models yesterday. They just arrived, right? What was this? We got
Did they?
Vision.
No, they came from the painter. Yes.
Oh, okay.
They came back from the painter. We have Vision, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and the Sentinels lady.
Oh, Sentinels lady.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Good luck and have fun, Blake.
Yes, thank you. This next one is from Pandemic Painting. Thank you, Painting. Super concerned about Votann. What am I missing?
Oh, you're missing that if you just roll 5 ups to save, you'll be fine. Isn't that it, Bridger?
Thanks.
That's what they're missing.
No. So there's a lot of upgrades all over the place. They do ignore cover, which is everybody has cover, so you can think of that as like an extra AP, because everybody's gonna be cover all the time, and you basically ignore it all the time.
Yep, very valuable.
Yeah, that's my one big.
Yeah, and as we said, there are a few units that are
There are some
totally
good units.
solid.
There's some good
The
units.
Land Fortress seems good, and the Terminator
They
seems
just
good.
struggle on reliability. Even their good units don't throw that many dice. That's the thing. Each amp throws 3 dice.
Right.
Hearthguard in combat throws 2 dice. Like
Which is consistent with 10th edition.
the Hekaton throws 1 die. Like number of dice is their biggest problem because they also don't have great hits. So.
And yeah, without the rerolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, dude.
Thank you, thank you. This next one is from Heis Rosenheim, and this one is a doubler
It's a double header.
All right.
that I added together.
It's a double.
So the first one is, Lindsay, are you already on fire with 40k? Producing is the best way to learn about all the weaknesses and all the other factions.
That's right.
Well, we see you at the top of the 10th tournament. Also, hello to Brian
B&B.
and Bridger.
That's us.
I'm going to be producing half of those tournament
Oh wow!
games.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're in for the long haul.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
You got to stay hydrated.
Yeah, right?
You got to
Mel and I
pace
were
yourself.
talking yesterday. I was
Take
like, we got to
naps.
have like our snack station. We got to have drinks because she's doing the first 2 and I'm doing the second 2 on Saturday. And then
Wow, busy day.
That means I don't have to produce once on Saturday.
No, you don't.
I get to play my game and take a nap.
You're
Producing
on
Sunday?
Yes.
Unless I win. The whole thing.
Bridger win. What are you
we'll
playing?
see.
Necrons. Good faction.
Good faction.
What are you up against round 1?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Probably Shane. Just so I get to bully Shane.
Yeah, right. I think you are up against
enjoy
Shane.
bullying
So
Shane.
you're up against Space
Shane,
Marines.
Shane's in chat bullying
Oh, hey
me
Shane.
right now.
Well, trying.
So you're up against Ultramarines.
Yeah, I guess we can say that. I think Space Marines have
You have the edge.
no shot against Necrons.
Wow.
No shot.
I would tend to agree. I think Bridger's Necron. I don't even know what's in Bridger's Necron list. I know about 3/4 of it though. And if he only brought that 3/4 that I know about against the Ultramarines list, I think he would win. The Necrons are real good. And the Space Marines in particular don't have the tools to deal with what makes Necrons good because they can't single activation wreck
The Warriors.
a warrior squad.
Well,
And then your super elite guns just eat him for breakfast.
yeah. The super narrative, fluffy thing that I like is the best faction against Necrons is Deathwatch. That to me, that's such a flavor win.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
I do predict. I would bet on Necrons. Shane, this is not about you. This is about the Necrons. The Necrons are good. I mean, it's not about Shane, but it's more about the Necrons. Sorry, Shane.
Look, Shane, you're gonna put Gilliman behind a unit, and I'm gonna kill the unit and then kill Gilliman.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
I think Gilliman will be strong, but we'll see.
Not Doomsday Arc strong.
Nope.
Gilliman versus the Doomsday Arc ends poorly for Gilliman.
I mean, he could make 4-ups,
He could.
or
Unless
you could
it's
just get devastating wounds,
then he just dies.
and then he just. That's how I lost the line. Was devastating wounds.
Yeah.
That's the way you get
Those were
Primarchs.
those were 1 damage devastating wounds, not 4 damage.
Yeah, you have 4
devastating
damage
wounds.
devastating wounds.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
And even your Gauss Flare is devastating, right? Or is it only the main gun?
Bringing that stupid thing.
No,
man.
sorry, because it comes
No,
equipped with-
the flare right now.
they don't get devastating.
No.
Okay.
They get lethal hits, which is also insane.
Yeah. All right, what's the second part?
Second one is I don't feel the synergy in the new Tau index.
Okay.
Almost all units went weaker, less strength, AP and
Yep.
shots on weapons, bad leadership, even on ethereal and punishing multi-weapon units with for the GG.
Yeah. Okay. So, first reading of the book, you'll be like, wow, everything got weaker.
That's
Definitely.
every army
A 10th got weaker.
except Eldar
Yeah.
and Necrons.
Eldar.
Eldar and Necrons. They
Yeah,
didn't
both
get
of those genuinely did get better. Yeah.
They went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, but let's not talk about them. So, yeah, everything got weaker, but 10th edition got weaker, right? So we're gonna have to play it out. Like, I don't think you got disproportionately weaker than the edition. So that's where I think there's a bit of an edge there. And I think that the way the army plays in the book is the way that you want to play it. So you have no shortage of speed and ability to play the mission. I think one of the better armies just as an index for mission playability. So that's big. Now, is your damage output going to be where it needs to be? That I cannot quote you just yet. That's the tournament's going to have to answer that. Can I get that damage where it needs to be?
What do you do against the Warrior Blob?
What would I do against the Warrior Blob?
Yeah.
Maybe lose.
That's a problem.
Hold on, let me think about it for a minute. Carry the 1. I think I lose, dude.
Okay, cool.
I think it's lose.
Because you can't kill it in one activation.
Not one activation, but can I kill it in one shooting phase? And you can only res twice in one shooting phase?
I can only res
Twice
in your shooting phase.
in one shooting phase. And each one of those is 2d3 plus 3 if you're on an objective.
9 plus 3. Oh, sorry.
2d3,
2d3 plus
3 on an objective.
Yeah.
So 6 plus 43 you'd get back in a single shooting phase. It's
lot.
plausible, but we are talking about 1,600 points of my army to kill it. Right? Which means I'd have to all be on one side of the board, which is already kind of a win for you.
How many shots do you even...
This is mostly it's the
They,
breachers.
remember, they have 4 pinball.
No, I know. It's mostly the breachers that would have...
If you move up breachers, I overwatch and they'll die.
that is not accurate. Moving on. So the For the Greater Good is one of these things where it's not obvious that you'll always do it, and you're going to want more single-purpose units for more single-purpose targets. And For the Greater Good is cute on the right with the right combo, and the coordinated strat that I use it's good. I think it works. There was times when it played well for me, but you pick a few key units, you use a few stealth teams with a marker drone in it, and I think that's kind of good. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s to wounds, ignore cover. No, you're not going to split fire, but the split fire hurts. It used to be Codex split fire, because you weren't, you couldn't like mop up with a couple combat attacks. So we're going to have to see if it's enough to get the job done. I don't know yet, but I know it plays the game well. And that's
Which is a lot of what you want.
which is more than a lot of books can say.
Yeah.
More than Votann or Death Guard or lots of things can say. Like, even better than Space Marines can say.
Better than some of the worst factions. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. This next one is from Martin Easterman.
what's up,
Thank
Martin?
you,
Hey,
Martin. And Martin says, "Hey, Brian, we need to figure out how to beat Custodes with Dark Angels and then make it happen to Bridger. Please help. Maybe Repulsor Executioner with Devastator Laz, 3 squad Inceptors, plus John says some points. Incept worth it?"
Yeah,
That's
John.
not even the number he
That's not
said
even
yesterday.
Custodes, you just shoot them, and you basically want like AP2, and you want AP2 couple damage.
You want AP2 ignore cover, or AP3.
Right, AP2 ignore cover, AP3, or they're going to be in cover a decent amount.
Actually, you know what? The perfect gun is the Doomsday Arc.
Yeah,
It's 4 damage.
bring Doomsday Arcs.
It's 4 damage. It's AP3.
Yeah, and it's
It
devastating.
it does it all.
Yeah. So play Tau, not Tau, Necrons. You really do want to do that. If you have some devastating wounds, there isn't that many of them, and it's all the assault cannons. And the problem is when you're not getting the devastating wounds, you're getting nothing. 0 AP, 1 damage.
Yeah.
And but if you have an oath target, you can try to re-roll everything and fish for
Yeah, but even the
sixes.
devastating 4-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah, because you have field of pain against all mortals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I do think you want the plasma the plasma inceptors wouldn't be terrible actually.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They would be pretty good.
Flat 3 damage.
Yeah, I think it's not bad. So take some shooting like that. Get some Hellblasters up in here. They wouldn't be bad either.
They're 2 damage.
Which is fine. Multiples of 2. It's fine.
Well, you really want the 3.
I know.
don't know why Inceptors went to 3, but Hellblasters stayed at 2.
Who knows? It's a mystery.
Yeah. Well, thank you. This next one is from Toolcash01. Thank you, Toolcash. Just to remind Bridget that those Hearthkin should hit on 3s. JTs don't stack with other bonuses.
Judgment tokens don't stack with other bonuses.
Yeah. I wasn't having my warriors hit on better than... My warriors were hitting on 4s for almost the whole game.
Yeah.
Which is Hearthkin. Hearthkin warriors.
Yeah, the Hearthkin were only ever hitting on 3s, right?
Yeah.
We never
My
hit on 2s.
Hearthguard were hitting on 2s because they're BS3.
The Hearthguard were definitely hitting, because they start at 3 and then they go to 2.
Yeah. They're actually, in every way, the best unit in the book. Yeah. Yeah.
Take more of those.
Yeah.
Hearthguard are good.
Yeah, thank you. This next one is from Hamsterdam. Thank you, Hamsterdam. Hey, Titans. Brian, when you lost the ability to score primary around turn 3, would have Gambit have made sense?
No, he had no units left. You can't Gambit with no units.
Yeah, you can't. Gambit still require you to have enough units in certain places, but I didn't technically lose all ability to score in turn 3, did I? It was just very low. Right, like if I wiped off my backfield objective, I could have got some points there.
Well, my bottom of 3 is when I picked up a lot of stuff.
I see. Yeah, it could have happened, but I think you need to be at like 0% chance of scoring primary in order to Gambit almost always. Or you need to have like, if I had a bunch of Vespid in reserve or something, then we could be talking here. But Bridger had enough squads. Bridger had enough squads to just run into, let's say, the corners and stop me from doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Liam just arrived.
Liam!
What's up?
Innit, Liam! He's being bombarded by Britishisms. Done poorly.
That's right.
Thank you,
That's the only way we do them.
It's the only way to do them.
Yeah.
Even if you're British. Thanks, Amsterdam.
This next one is from Martin Easterman. Thank you again, Martin. Is Bridger's new method of winning to talk you into bringing a weaker list and then smash you when
This
you
not
trust
new.
him? I mean, I guess that's one way to win. Did he
Yeah.
do that with Dark Angels
Yes.
versus
No.
Custodes?
That is what he did.
Rematch
No,
with
but you had a good list.
Nope, I did not.
You had a good list.
First of all, this is not new. Bridger has been doing this
That's a good list.
for years. Like 5 years Bridger's been
When
doing
I'm backed
this.
into a corner and I think I'm going to lose, that's when I'm at my strongest.
Bridger perpetually deals in extremes.
Yeah.
So open the book, you crack it, and he's like terrible. Completely broken, unplayable.
It's all bad.
And it's like, but you haven't even looked at a data sheet. And he's like, I can feel it. and then we're all like, yeah, but what about this thing that's clearly great? And he's like, no, because of this. And we're like, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, they're gonna have to issue a day one fact to
I never say
10x
that.
this book.
I never say that.
He says it about almost everything.
I only say that they need to day one fact nerf things.
Listen.
Or fix
Bridger
transports.
has done this
Right, we all want transports to be
endlessly.
fixed.
He's done this
We
endlessly.
all want transports to be
And
fixed.
then he was so scared
Of Tau?
of Tau, yeah. That I don't know. I like made a list last night that was like as garbage as this, but a tiny, like it had a 50% chance of killing a hecaton, and he was just like unacceptable.
John actually told you not to take the...
Because you would scare John into thinking.
No.
You had everyone spooked.
John and I separately read the book and separately came to the same
You had
conclusion.
everyone spooked.
That Hearthguard are good, Hecatons are okay, and everything else
Yeah.
is pretty bad.
No, but it's fine. I was actually happy to play this list, genuinely.
Yeah.
And the Custodes, he did tell me, like, this is going to lose. I'm going to be never...
We learned a lot in that game. We learned a lot.
I learned nothing.
But you did take a good list. Your list was not bad,
I learned
Brian.
that Bridger is still Bridger.
Your
and
list was not
Bridger's
bad.
opinions should be taken
That was a good,
With
solid Dark
a
Angels list.
basketball-sized grain of salt.
You know that was a good Dark Angels list.
Totally...
It wasn't perfectly tailored to kill Custodes.
No. My Dark Angels list totally played 10th edition.
It was a good list.
It was a normal, like, stream list. Wasn't
And it
tournament
got karate chopped in half.
list? Correct.
What?
Sorry, Martin. I'll do better by the Dark Angels next time.
Thank you. This next one is from Martin C. No, Mr. C.
Mr.
up?
C.
Mr.
Hey.
C, thank you. Okay, I need to know. There's no wording saying Transcendent can take enhancements.
They're epic
Can't,
heroes.
can't.
Yeah, they can't. They're epic heroes.
Yeah. Can you give it a 4-up enhancement?
Nope. They're epic heroes. You can't take any enhancements.
Ah.
Sorry, bro. Nope. Can't. Nope. Nope.
Okay.
There you go.
Nope.
There you go.
What do you think of the Catan?
Oh, they're so cool.
They're pretty cute.
I want to play them.
But you don't need them. They're just too many points. And they don't really plug any holes you have, right? Is that right?
They don't do anything that the army doesn't otherwise do,
Yeah.
and it is
don't do
hard
it.
to find space for them.
Yeah, yeah. They're pretty pricey. Everything else does the
But
things
they
that
do
it does.
such cool things.
They're cool, yeah, yeah. You'll play them and you won't be sad.
Necrodermis, half damage. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
They're cool. Can't wait to see them on the table.
They're pretty cool.
Thank you.
Leon.
This next one is from Tulkash again. Thank you, Tulkash. JTs don't stack with other +1 to hit.
didn't-
Comment?
I was only ever hitting on 2s or 3s.
What other +1s to hit? Like with...
Heavy?
No, you never did that.
I use it to negate a minus, but
Right.
that does work, doesn't it? Maybe not?
So the question is, you had a +2 to hit because heavy and judgment,
And
then you had a
-1.
-1 to hit
Because I was bracketed.
because
or
of
stealth.
bracket or stealth or whatever. Yeah, and so
Those stack, right?
we should double check. In case maybe the judgment token specifically has a wording,
That'd be weird.
but there's a rule in the game where you can't have +2, but you didn't. You had +1.
I was never hitting more than one better than my ballistic skill.
Yeah.
Which
Let us know, chat,
is
if there's a
4.
specific judgment
this is
token
a
rule.
shocking number of super chats about this, though.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, this is for the last question about the epic.
Are they not
last
epic
one.
heroes?
Yeah, it says
They are. Oh, maybe Transcendent's not. The rest of the
Transcendent is
Catan are.
missing epic hero.
That
Oh.
will get FAQ. Like, you're not going to be able to give him a 4.
Well, then currently you can rules is right.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to. I wouldn't even try it. If the rest of them are already epic heroes, maybe. I don't know. That's a. Yeah.
So you think it's a typo?
I don't. It could go either way, to be honest. It's like 50-50 to me. Of like, maybe they think
always
it's okay
they always wanted you to not be able to take any
Anything
sort of
on
warlord
them.
traits or relics.
because they're not really Necrons. They're enslaved
Start
god shards. Like, you can't.
It's not in the spirit of the way they've ever wanted it. So we
Right.
would be surprised if that's what they
I
want.
wouldn't- I'm not a
Rules
fan.
is written though. You can now, and so play with your jank while you can. Right?
4 Philippine on Transcendent would be on top of Necrodermis would be absurd.
Yeah, go do it. Have fun.
Thank you. This next one is from Edward Byer. Thank you, Edward. I missed most of the game. How bad is Tau shooting now?
Yeah.
From what I've seen, Tau guns seem pretty mediocre for the most part now.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of Tau guns are quite mediocre, and then there are Tau guns that are downright horrible. I brought some of those this game, but then there are Tau guns that are quite good. I think Seeker missiles, quite good.
Top notch.
Yeah, I think plasma, quite good.
Top notch.
I think breacher guns even, pretty good. So that bunch I like. The problem I have with the Seeker missiles is they're often incidental. So it's like this piranha has 2, and then you're not actually going to spot for that piranha because the piranha is the spotter. So it's 2 on 4 one time. Now, in aggregate,
On 4s?
yeah, they hit on 4s.
So Hunter Killer missiles hit on 2s.
Yeah, that's Space Marines.
And Custodes. And Sisters
Wait,
and Guard.
Hunter Killers hit on 3s, dude.
No, they're BS2.
Really?
Everywhere.
Well, fine. These hit on 4s, and they're quite good, though. They're even better, because Hunter Killers are strength 12. These are strength 14.
Hunter Killers are strength 10? Maybe 12.
I thought it was 12.
That was 10.
But these are strength 14.
That's really good.
Yeah. They're very good. So there are some good guns, but there's a lot of guns that do nothing. Like, broadsides used to be a terror. A full squad of 3 broadsides
Was a menace.
would eat up half the board it could see,
It would ruin things.
and a quarter of the board it couldn't see.
It would ruin humans.
Yeah. And now, it was killing like 1 or 2 infantry models.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
That was
They need
embarrassing.
a heavy keyword or something.
That was embarrassing. So some guns definitely don't do the business. Like, and I was playing with I even had the Cadre Fireblade. I was doing 30 shots from my main troops, and they were doing nothing. They were killing like 1 or 2 guys, right? Like I had, against your naked dwarves, they're not even wearing armor. I did like 90 shots and killed like 3 of them. So that's not good. That's not what you want. That 5-man squad should die to 1 activation of those with a character. So whatever they need to change about my 30 shots, like...
It's 5 up with 2 wounds. Like, 1 activation shouldn't get through them.
I think so. I think if I have a 10-man Fire Warrior squad with a character...
They should each deal an average... That squad should deal 30 damage.
Sorry, you have 30... How many wounds do you have in that squad?
10 wounds at 5 up feel no pain.
So no, you have 10 wounds. I'm not trying to say 30 damage. And keep in
Sorry,
mind...
you would need 30 successful wounds to average kill them.
No. You're assuming that I'm saying maybe I need 1 AP to get through so you don't get that armor. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying they need to tweak it. Or maybe I need 1 more strength, or I need to rapid fire a little further. Like, they need to... what I'm saying is it should get very close, or it should cripple the unit down to like a guy and a half, or 1 guy, or you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
And the fact that how many squads should it have taken of mine? At the moment, it would take 4 of them to kill that 1 squad. You know what I mean? Like at the rate it was going in that game.
Yeah.
And 4 is my whole game's worth. Like I only had 3 in this whole army, right?
Yeah, I think strike teams aren't amazing.
No. But that was its ideal target. Like if that's not the target, what's its target? You know what I mean?
No, it's just a unit with OC that has -1 to win.
No, but
that's all it is.
yeah, that is all it is now.
Yeah.
But then if you start adding up the number of things that have guns that actually do things in my army, it's like, are we talking 2 units, 3 units? And since they can't split fire, and
It's an issue.
it's an issue. So
Tricky
we're gonna.
pickle.
I strongly agree that the guns on like the incidental guns aren't doing much, and the good guns are still good, but you're not getting enough of them. So we're gonna see. I think the first game is gonna be a good test. I'm up against Chaos Space Marines with some pretty elite in the tournament.
That's gonna be a big test.
So I'm up against Chaos Space Marines, pretty elite. If anything, traditionally, this is Tao's best.
Could be, yeah. Space Marine
target.
shaped elite things, yeah.
Yeah, Space Marine shaped elite things is what I'm supposed to be best at. So that'll be my first round in the tournament. And we're going to see. We're going to see. Come check it out. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to bring the best models. I'll go as hard as I can. We'll see what works.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you. This next one is from Dungeon Master. Thank you, Dungeon. Does tagging the Hecaton stop it firing? Big Guns Never Tire says you're eligible to shoot and that you can shoot into engaged units. It doesn't say you can only shoot into combat unless they release notes to say otherwise.
No, so we checked this a couple of times. Big Guns Never Tire is very long, but it says vehicles and monsters that are in engagement can fire at a -1 at the thing they're engaged with, and separately, second paragraph, you can shoot at a vehicle or monster that is engaged at a -1. Blast says you can't shoot at all when you're in engagement range.
Exactly.
Unless you have a rule that overrides that.
So when you tag the Hecaton, it can still fire at the squad it's in combat with, which is good.
On 5s.
Right. Unless they have a judgment token, but yeah, which is something. But it stops it from picking its ideal target. And
And a lot of the good guns are blast.
on the Hecaton.
Yeah, a lot of the guns that you would want to take, because none of the guns I took today were blast.
Oh.
But you have a turret and side guns to choose on, and I think the Sea-Beamer turret might be better than the...
So if
cannon?
turn 1 I moved up a Piranha and tagged you or something like that could have been good tactic or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. This next one is from The Claven. Thank you,
Claven.
The Claven. Haven't watched game yet. Seems like Votann needs to go, oops, all Sagittar in 10th. Also, I'm still expecting wave 2. Give me the tank from Metal Slug.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Tank for metal. So the Sagittar, what do you think about the
Why-
Sagittar? Sagittar is the little tank.
It's a small... It's kind of like a Rhino, kind of. So it holds 5 models.
Okay.
Its special abilities, you can advance and then get out. You count as having moved. You can't charge.
Oh, Devilfish has that too.
Right. I don't know what you think you're putting in a Sagittar.
Does Sagittar have any shooting?
Like incidental, like small,
Interesting.
little babby.
Well, certainly I think if I was to build this army to play regularly, I don't know about the Sagittar, but I would definitely have 2 Hecaton. I don't think I would have 3, but I think I would have 2.
Yeah.
3 isn't off the table. It's expensive though,
lot.
and you need to play the game. I would have what I would modify from the army you have now is I would still have those 2 vehicles. I would probably not take those other shooty guys that didn't do anything.
They were super
What were they called?
Thunderkin.
Thunderkin. I wouldn't take them only because I just can't afford it. I would probably I probably wouldn't take the close combat squad that you took. What are they called? The ones
Berserks.
The Berserks. I wouldn't take them. And then I would try to fit in another 10-man Terminator squad, and take out a warrior squad maybe to do it. And then if that evened out, then I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I might also try to get a 3rd squad of bikes, but probably can't afford it.
I would probably cut down to 1 10-man to get a 3rd squad of bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 10-man to get a 3rd squad of bikes sounds good for me too. So that would be roughly my best list.
Yeah, and that's the kind of list I would run. Uthar appears to have weird typos in his datasheet, but he can go with Hearthguard. So I think each champ in one, and then Uthar in another.
Next.
Could be good.
That's sounding like my best list, and I think that you'd play. You wouldn't be. No, would be terrified of you. But if they didn't respect you, like I didn't in this game, you'd
didn't
win.
respect me.
You'd wreck them.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Just to quickly go back to the last one, Dungeon Master has replied and says, doesn't eligible to shoot allow you to shoot at any eligible target?
I'll grab a core book. We have 100 of them lying around.
Okay, we'll get back to that. We could go to the next question.
Yeah, next one. It's from JM. JM says, howdy, thanks for dragging out the dwarves. Are you sure the +1 from judgment tokens stack with other +1 to hit? Rules seem to imply otherwise.
Okay, Bridger, hey, bring the rules on judgment tokens. We're getting asked this again, whether they stack. All right, we're gonna read some rules here. We got a core rule book. We got some judgment tokens. These are tricky things. There's a funny thing that happens where like there's so many rules in Warhammer that are like other rules, and so your instinct is like, oh, they'll make it like the other things.
Which do I look up first?
Well, you look up the big guns.
Okay. Big guns, they never tire.
And I can look up the judgment tokens.
It's
Is that,
judgment.
oh, you brought the Tau sheets.
I brought everything that we just played with.
Just in case, huh? Oh, and you brought AdMech too, okay. This is AdMech. Where's yours?
I don't know. Adrian pointed to this pile and said this is,
Okay.
it's probably under Tau.
This is Custodes.
I said under Tau.
Under Tau, okay. Oh no, so many things. Leagues of Votann. We've got rules for days.
Big guns, they never tire.
You want to read this for everyone? No, just read it. Just read it for them.
Yeah, it's just the next line. So monster and vehicle units are eligible to shoot in their controlling player's shooting phase even while they're within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Next sentence, ranged weapons equipped by monster and vehicle units can target one or more of the enemy units they are in engagement range of, even if other friendly units are also within engagement range of the same unit. That's what you can target. You still shoot in combat at the thing you're in combat with.
And also this, okay, so do you feel like you've resolved that? Okay, great. This one here says that each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack that targets a unit that has one or more judgment tokens, until that model's attacks have been resolved, apply the relevant bonuses from the table below. And then it says 1 judgment token, add 1 to the hit roll.
So that works exactly.
So that means that stacks. You can have +1 to hit. You can have +1 from heavy. Now, you can never have +2. But if someone gives you -1, like let's say stealth, then you get +2 -1. You are now net +1, and that is legal. That is basically a rule they introduced in 9th edition. So you can have +5, and that would be legal. And if someone had -4, you'd end up +1 in the end, and that's fine. But if you had +5 and they only had -3, you'd still only have +1 in the end, right? So this seems like of all the things we got wrong, this isn't it.
No, and I also believe that we're still correct on big guns never tire. You still have to shoot the thing you're in combat with.
Is there any interpretation of that, you feel?
I think you could weasel with words because this is saying ranged weapons equipped by monster and vehicle units can target one or more. It's like telling you that you are allowed, but
one or more means one or more in combat with you.
Yes, but the operative word can, not must.
You don't have to shoot them. It's can.
Right. I
And
know
also
what you're
must.
saying.
If you're in combat with 3 squads, it doesn't say you have to split on them.
I know what
can.
you're saying.
No, there's
I
no
can
words.
see other people trying to interpret this as
No, there's no-
you can shoot, also you can shoot the thing you're in combat with. I could see somebody reading it that way, but everything we've ever understood about Warhammer is not that. It's that you have to shoot the thing you're in combat with, because that's how this rule has always worked.
Yeah, the rules of Warhammer are naturally restrictive. Unless it says explicitly you can do a thing, you cannot do that thing, right? It doesn't say anywhere that you can't walk up the sides of buildings sideways and engage on the side.
I mean, I want to, though.
But you cannot, because there's no rule saying you can do it,
Liam.
right? And so there's a million things that you could think of that you could do that nowhere in the book says you can't, but you can't do it unless it says you can.
Right. Yeah. So I feel pretty comfortable saying vehicles and monsters in combat can only shoot the thing they're in combat with.
Also, this is the way Big Guns has worked for the last 2 editions.
Yep.
So it's not new.
Yep.
Thank you. And then the JM question was answered. Yeah. Okay, cool. This next one is from Timothy Barsotti. Thank you, Timothy. How would you build a competitive Votann list? I'm thinking 30 E-guards with characters in each squad.
It's a lot to do. You're also very likely to deep strike all 3 of those. I think 2 10s is probably where you want to be. 2 10s, 2 hackathons, and then stuff that plays the game.
Yeah, the list we just made.
Right. So 10 warriors give you sticky control on your backfield, which lets you walk away if they're not threatening to take it.
Yeah, if they don't have some deep striker that's going to grab it.
Right. Your bikes sit in the back, leave.
And they let you come on and do secondaries. Like, hey, you need to get into the corners, or hey, you need to zip out on this objective and do an action. They give you an option to do that.
Or they scout on early objectives if you know you're going first.
Give you a chance to score turn 1.
Without throwing away land
Something
fortresses or Hearthguard.
Which, frankly, can't even make it up that far anyways.
Right. So I think the list we made is probably what you would play.
Agreed?
Yeah, thank you. This next one is from Broderick Engelhard. Thank you, Broderick. I know, but how down dog dirty did they do my clown boys? Are Harlequins just dead now?
So I think we're sad for them. You know, it was Adrian's like one of his favorite factions, if not his favorite, last edition, and we've known for a while that they were really getting like shadow
Pushed to the fringes.
Yeah, shadow taken out of the game in a way, almost like very little love for them, and I think that's really sad. I hope that they eventually come back to it and give it some love. I think we've all been waiting. Like, when's the edition that they expand their range?
They need a flyer.
I don't think they will, though, at this point. Like, it really seems like they're not.
They hate flyers.
They're
Yeah,
not
they hate
expanding. No, I mean expanding this range at all. They don't seem interested in doing it. And so they've really done them dirty. And they were really getting quite popular over the last couple of editions. So I think there's a lot of really sad
I think
people
in
out there.
part GW didn't like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
They don't like when Custodes get too popular either. These factions that are supposed to be in lore rare.
Really? You think that's a thing?
Want people to play
No,
them
I
a lot.
think like with this is a faction they don't have a huge range for. You know, I don't think it's a big business for them, and I think they see it as a couple units, not as a faction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Thank you. This next one is from Max Rashke. Thank you, Max. I'm new and I'm mustering my AdMech. What would help round me out? 60 Vanguard Rangers, 2 Dune Crawlers, 1 Scorpus, 5 Iron Striders, 2 Robots, 10 Rust Stalkers, 9 Cataphrons, Call, and the HQs.
So that's what they have. Okay, let's round it out. You've got a lot already. I like some of the infiltrators. So they're literally called Sagittar infiltrators, right? So they help you play the game a little bit early on. I like, from a mission perspective, I like the sterilizers that I was using. Or you could also use the Sulfur Hound or the Cerberus Raiders. Cerberus Raiders get a pre-game move, and then they get to move when people get close to them. You could do some wild shenanigans with that. Really good blocking, keep your units safe from charges, cool stuff. So those are good, and they're stunning models. So that's a big one. I'm not sure where the damage is coming from yet in AdMech, but I think it's probably the Cataphrons. So you could lean into them. I don't know if you have destroyers or breachers, but breachers are really tasty.
They're just slow, right? That's their limiting factor.
Very slow, but they could strike at the midboard pretty well with guns. So
We saw that yesterday.
yeah,
They can hit hard.
and I still think the Electro Priest could be good. It's just the reliability of hitting on 4s, which is very scary to throw a unit out and then it just like doesn't hit on 4s.
Tell me about it, Brian.
I know you know all
Yeah,
that. At least you have a judgment token. I have no way of getting to 3.
You can get rerolls with call.
Call has to be up there with him. How is Call getting up there?
I think it's only in shooting anyway.
No, it's not. It's shooting and fighting,
Oh,
and it's in every phase of the game. It's not just shoot phase, not just fight phase. But again, Call's not going to be up there with him.
No.
So that still some experimentation to do, but the things I said, I think would definitely have play.
Well, thank you. This next one is from Noah Ranger. Thank you, Noah. Big glow up on Ghostkeel.
Big.
Crossing my fingers, they are costed well. Do you think Tau could swing into a Shadow Sun broadside Ghostkeel turtle playstyle?
I hope not. Turtling sucks.
You don't get any points.
Yeah, you don't get points. It's also boring and it's super telegraphed. And it's like nobody wants to play against a gun line, and nobody wants to play a gun line. So
I think a lot of people do want to sit in their deployments on a shoot.
Lame. You want Tau is a fast, dynamic army. That's supposed to be the idea. And so I really hope they don't end up building playstyles for that. The Ghostkeel is key. It's clutch. I'm super into it. I don't own a ton of Ghostkeels, or I might go harder on them on the weekend than I am currently. But I like the Ghostkeel. High strength fusion.
I think they're cool, but I'm not as high up on them as you guys are.
Oh, I'm into it, dude. They have a lot of little things that you might not be appreciating. Even their stealth drones each count as like I get to pull it for damage. Like I get to take like an attack and pull it like old school drones.
Really?
Yeah, and when I kill them both, I don't lose any of my stealth capabilities like I used to.
Why do they do that and no other drone does that?
Because money. And they have great save, good toughness.
That's weird.
They still have stealth. So even when you get up close, you're not really doing the business to them. I'm into it, man.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But on paper, they're looking tasty. Now, as far as broadsides, maybe broadsides with rails could be good. I'll have to play that out a little more. And Shadow Sun looks like she will be very valuable.
Auto take.
I haven't decided because I know things that people don't know about cost, but we'll see.
Get her on the list.
Yeah, we'll see. She's good. She's probably an auto take. If you were playing a gun line, she's definitely an auto take. She's probably an auto take.
I think she's.
She's probably an auto take.
Thanks, Noah.
Yeah, thank you.
Just getting close.
Just a heads up, we are at $4.40. We're at $4.50.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Didn't realize it was so late in the day. Yeah, we have to stop at 5 so that they have time to set up their game. All the super chats that are left over,
We'll go into
10
the
minutes
next
from
game.
now. We'll
I've been given chat kind of like a warning, like, hey,
This is your 10-minute warning.
this is, but we may need to stop a few before I started those warnings. So just a heads up,
at
chat.
5.
Yeah.
We're peacing out.
All right,
and
we'll
they're
try to
gonna
get through them.
Get
Let's
ready
go.
for that next one.
Okay, so this next one is from Monarchier1. Thank you, Monarchier. Bridger, Votann here. The key was always magnetization. On release, I got 6 SAGs. Their wonderful data sheet in 10th. Thoughts on the missile loadout, the ones we didn't sell to the guppies.
Sags, like Sagittar. Oh, Sagittars.
Yeah.
The tanks.
Okay. Let's just consult their guns, because I don't know what you're putting in these. It lets you split up.
Maybe they're empty.
It lets you split up your warrior squads, which
I
is
hate those rules.
cute, because it turns your 10-man into 2 5-mans.
And do they get to stay as 5-mans?
Yeah.
Oh, well then that's actually kind of a weird hack,
But
right?
you need 2 Sagittars to do it. 2 Sagittars turn a 10-man into 2 5-mans.
Really? Okay.
But we don't own a single Sagittar.
Not yet, but we could.
We might have one painted.
We could have one in 4 hours. We've done it before.
So they get high las beam cannon, twin bolt cannon, armored wheels. You can switch the high las for a missile launcher.
So what do you think of the
for
missile?
a pair of.
Is it enough shooting?
Oh, weird. So it's the same missile that I was shooting from my squads for the whole game.
Right. So it's a standard frag crack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
And
you get two of them,
then-
so 2 frags or 2 cracks.
Or the high-las beam cannon. So
Okay.
it's all BS4. That didn't
Obviously,
change.
that's not going to go anywhere.
The Sagittar missile is tasty. 36-inch, strength 12, AP3, 3 damage.
Okay.
Tasty.
How many shots? 1 shot?
2.
2 shots. Okay, I guess it's. I guess everyone is going to come down to points. But turning your 10-mans into 5-mans is really key, because you have a lot more to throw away.
Well, let's continue to think about this. Let's noodle. The list that we wrote had 1 10-man, and its primary objective was to start on your starting objective and leave,
Right, which you can't do if you're in the tank.
which you can't do if you're in a tank.
But and you can never get in the. Yeah, okay. So you'd have to start in the tank, get out, and then leave turn 2 from the objective. I know. No, it's
And
weird.
the
We're
tank
talking
scout
about.
moves. Like, why? What do you?
I know.
So
But
that's
the other half of the tank could move up
weird.
and scout move.
I think people are legitimately considering taking these empty, and to that I say,
Is that even allowed? I thought it was 1 per battle line for transports.
oh right, are you even allowed to take empty transports anymore?
No. But you only have to take 3 battle
we
line.
might have goofed on that in a few games. I had stuff in these hackathons, but my plane was empty when I played Deathwatch because I had nothing that I was allowed to put in it.
No, I don't think. I thought that
Oh,
was
it's because it's a dedicated transport, right?
Just dedicated
So
transport.
you can't take these empty.
Yeah. That's okay.
And-
so six of them only takes 3 squads, though. It's a tax. I get it.
That's a big tax.
I mean, they
didn't-
look okay. Let's
I
wait till
didn't
we see
want. I
points.
didn't want the 30 warriors I had today. I wouldn't want them again in the future.
I would be more excited about 30 warriors if they were 5-man squads, and I could keep throwing them away.
To be honest, still wouldn't want them.
Yeah. Okay.
10 is, I think, where it's at. And if you can split them into 5s, great.
Okay.
I'm not as big on Sagittar as other people are. I understand the missiles seem nice.
Let's wait till we see the points.
Yeah.
Thank you. This next one is from Martin Easterman again. Thank
Hey,
you,
Martin.
So Bridger pushing the new player to meta chase to 30 Hearthguard.
Yeah.
Sounds like the kind of thinking that got one young man 18 unpainted centurions.
That's exactly right. This is how Bridger lives.
And an undying love for the game still. Here I am, years later, Martin.
The truth is, Bridger doesn't paint anything.
I don't.
He does build things, though.
Build all kinds of
But
stuff. Build everything.
as we all know, building's not as hard as painting.
No, it's not.
So Bridger isn't the one who's taken the pain
Nope.
of 30 Hearthguard.
Nope.
But anyways, you probably
They're
don't
small,
want.
though. Hearthguard, very small. Easy
You
to play.
probably don't want 30. You probably want 20. But you probably would have games where you played 30 if you really pushed into it. But you'd have very few assets.
Yeah,
so
those
that last
assets
squad,
would
that last
slap.
squad would probably need to be 2 5-mans. You couldn't have 30 and 3 10-mans. It's just like too much
No,
investment.
you would put 5s in your hackathons.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
your hackatonks.
Thank you. This next one is from Duncan. Thank you, Duncan. Bridger's face when explaining Votann says it all.
Look, Brian, I'm just saying. I know you guys are laughing at me. The rest of the internet's with me.
Yeah. No, I get it.
They're not amazing.
It's not amazing. No one's saying it's amazing.
They're middling at best.
Okay,
They
fair enough.
they fight really hard to get to Space Marine level.
Yep. You're not wrong. Okay.
Thank you. This next one is from Stephen Whittam. Thank you,
What's up, Stephen?
Stephen. Do you think Abhuman Rearguard Imperial Guard Army would be viable? Max units of Ogrins, Bulgrins, and Ratlings with transports to support.
I think Ratlings are good.
Rattlings are good, but just for mission reasons. But I think Bulgrins and Ogrins got worse.
Snipers are generally good.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Bulgrin and Ogrin got even worse, which is sad because this is several editions in a row that they've just gotten worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they're fantastic. You really need to lean into things like the Lehman Russ and the
Rogue Dorn.
the Dorn tank
Stupid artillery. It's an artillery
and the
boat.
artillery, the Manticore and the
Basilisk.
Those
And
are the
Sentinels.
stars.
Oh my God, Sentinels.
And Scout
Oh,
Sentinels.
good.
And Scout Sentinels, yeah. So those are the things, those vehicles are the things. You still need guardsmen here and there just to throw away.
Play the game.
But otherwise, those tanks are the business. You don't have a good combat. Unfortunately, the Bulgarins are no longer that like scary thing that says stay out of my deployment zone.
No.
So you just have to shoot all the things before they get to your deployment
Sentinels
zone.
are better than them in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the new Sentinel model is real nice.
It
It's
is.
got a great flavor, I think.
Yeah. Very alien.
I like it.
Thanks.
Thank you. This next one is from Mr. C. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
C. I'm so excited for Necrons, but I have so many questions about interactions. Would the Plasmancer 5+ crit make you have exploding 5s Tesla on Overwatch?
I have answers.
Oh!
That's an easy one.
Again, this will all be apparent soon, but no. Getting 5-up crits does not let you Overwatch on 5s unless it says so on the sheet. And now that we have seen a ton of indexes, there are units that say, for example, my Thunderkin, that they can Overwatch on 5s. In which case, the 5 would be a hit, and because you overruled it says it's a crit, it's also a crit.
But naturally, if you say you 5-up crit, you don't 5-up Overwatch.
Correct. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
There you go.
But what about 5-up Teslas?
Nope. If you don't hit, you don't crit.
No, forget Overwatch. If you Tesla on a 6 normally, so if you have sustained hits and you end up getting 5-up crit to hit, do you Tesla on a 5 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
That is exactly what this thing's supposed to
That's
do.
the whole point of the Plasmancer.
Yeah, or it's supposed to, the lethal hits.
Or lethal.
Hits, which, that's what the Plasmancer is for.
Thank you. Thank you. This next one is from Dene21. Thank you, Dene. Does the battlesuit keyword still let Tau shoot while in engagement range?
It does not.
No, but vehicle or monster does. They are vehicles.
Exactly right. So you've nailed it. So the battlesuit keyword does not. Vehicles do. So you can shoot at what's in combat with you. And it's very trivial if you have a crisis team to give the commander the battlesuit system upgrade. And that system upgrade allows the whole squad to fall back and shoot. I think shoot and charge, which can be valuable. No, you charge onto an objective or something.
Funny.
But I think, don't quote me on that second part, but that means you can get your crisis squads fall back and shoot really, really cheap. And Riptides already fall back and shoot. Yeah. Broadsides, you can give them this enhancement as well, but it takes up a slot, so you can't have some other upgrade.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. And hopefully your broadsides aren't getting tagged.
It's a big problem.
Hopefully.
Thank you. This next one is from Cody Bratton. Thank you, Cody. Been great watching all these games this week. What are your thoughts on Stormsurge? Seems pretty thick with 3 Cs. Now compared to Riptide, maybe?
Yeah. The Stormsurge is thick. His guns are actually terrifying.
He's big.
His main guns are big. His secondary guns suck.
That's always been the case. Though.
And now with Tau, you really don't want to split fire. So the fact that he's got so much incidental guns that would go in so many places, they don't work. So I think he's cool though, and I think people will really struggle to take him out. So he's kind of doing whatever he wants. It's going to come down to points, and I think he's playable. And there's some stuff coming in the future that will make him more playable.
I think they're cool.
Yeah. He's
Thanks,
cool.
Cody.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this next one is Tolkash again. Thank you again, Tolkash. Are you saying that heavy can stack with JTs? Because I didn't see the rule. Not a big gripe anyway. Thanks for the game.
It's not that you get net +2.
No,
if you're BS4, the best you can ever hit on is 3s. The worst you can ever hit on is 5.
Here's what the Judgment Token says. Add 1 to the hit roll. Here's what heavy says. Add 1 to the hit roll. So you got +2. Now the game says you can never actually benefit from +2. The maximum you can benefit from is +1. But there's nothing saying you cannot get +2. It's just you cannot benefit from +2. So if I get +2 to hit and someone gives me -1 to hit, I still have a +1. And that is really important. It happens all the time. Happened in this game. Happens in a lot of games. So as far as this paper says, yeah, you can get +2, but you can only benefit from
And this is how it's worked for
last edition.
Years.
Yeah.
Even into 8th.
This is not new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Did it in 8th? I thought it was just 9th.
8th had, they
No, just
implemented
9th.
it, middle of 8th they implemented it. Of
don't know
like
if that's
capping
true.
plus and minus by 1.
No, I don't think so. Maybe you're right.
Psychic Awakening.
So
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut it off here
Yeah.
because we are at 5 p.m.
This is the last one.
Huh?
Oh, we'll cut it off like, no more.
Cut it off, yeah. Because
We're
there's like
chat. Stop it. I mean, keep super chatting, but
there's
in the
a
other
few
stream.
more, but they can easily be answered
yeah.
by
Sure.
Adrian
By our
and
lovely
John.
lads.
Like, yeah. So I'm cutting it off. Thrain, If you're still in chat, hang out for an hour. You're going to be number one. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We've got another game coming up in an hour. It is the Orcs. It is the Drukhari. It's John and Adrian. Really exciting. And then, of course, we don't have any reveals tomorrow. We're going to be here playing some test games as a group. But Saturday and Sunday, we have our very first tournament of 10th edition. I dare say the very first tournament of 10th edition, probably anywhere in the world. And it's going to be 8 players, 8 armies, single elimination. You're not going to want to miss that. We're going to have games starting from 8 a.m. Pacific time, going all the way until I think...
like midnight or something?
Yeah, probably even beyond. So it's going to be grueling, but a ton of fun. And we're going to crown the very first victor. Could be anybody, but not Shane.
Oh, definitely not Shane. I'm going to kick Shane out. If Shane wins his first game, there's actually a secret hidden rule. I get to play his army in the next round.
No. If Shane wins his first game, we all instantly change to cheering for Shane. That is the absolute rule. So Shane, we really, everyone will back you. All you have to do is beat Bridger. And the truth is, Bridger deserves to lose.
Wow.
We don't think he'll lose, but he deserves to lose.
It's like 90-10. I'd have to make some really egregious mistakes.
And Bridger has made egregious mistakes before.
I have.
He's been like, okay, if I could win this game if I stand still, but I will charge turn 1. And
I will.
Yeah, and he just might. He just might. So with that, I guess we'll catch you next time on the tabletop.
Bye.